In this video I'm going to tell you how to choose a perfect camera that can handle all of your needs. Whether you are a beginner, vlogger or filmmaker, this guide will help you how to make a right choice. We will go through step-by-step decision tree to help you pick the best camera for you. We will discuss some core points like budget, type of shooting, autofocus, recording, duration, etc. I created this diagram to help you to choose the best camera that can fit all of your needs. Step 1. What is your budget? If your budget is less than $4,000 or higher budget. If we're going to the right of our diagram with unlimited budget camera, basically we can choose any camera from this list. Any of this camera, it's total beast. It's full frame professional camera that can handle everything. But if we have a limited budget, in this case we should create some decision that depend on stuff what we are going to shoot. Let's break it down this moment. Step 2. Type of shooting. It will be only studio, controlled light shots, or it will be dynamic run in a gun vlogging. If we going to choose the studio way, and most of the time we will shoot some studio, some vlogs, for example, like now we can see like talking head or something. We can choose any microfourthirds camera for studio use. For example, it can be Panasonic Lumix G80. Basically now I'm recording with this camera. It's good balanced of price and feature. This camera have a crazy image stabilization and lot of feature. Also we have can choose Lumix G7, Lumix GH4, GH5, GH6, GH7. All of this camera is great. I have some explanation in my diagrams that I created. Basically, yeah, also we have like best in category. For example, in this case I picked up the Lumix GH6. It's best hybrid photo video micro four third camera because it costs not super big money and give us a lot of great functionality. But you should understand that GH7 or some new generation camera can be better. Step 3. Autofocus. Do you need it? Basically, if you're going to shoot some moving objects, vlogging, action shot, definitely you need autofocus. You don't want to pull focus manually. In this case, only Sony is your choice, because now Sony has the best autofocus. If you're going to shoot something not in the prepared environment, it can be some dynamic shots. We should understand, do we need the great autofocus or no? Is autofocus is priority of our needs? If no, we should, for example, we need the color science and stabilization. In this case, I would recommend some best hybrid cameras with superior color science. It can be Canon R7, Fujifilm X-T5 or Panasonic Lumix S5. Also great camera to this list is Lumix S1. Okay. Basically, autofocus can be not super important stuff if our shots don't want to be super dynamic. But if we going to shoot something dynamic, when for example we should take camera and walking behind something, shooting people in dynamic way, we should definitely have the great autofocus. Step 4. Recording duration. Do you want to shoot a long clips longer than 30 minutes in one shot? If yes, camera like Sony ZV-E10 or Sony A7 III are great, but this camera will overheat in longer session. If you want to shooting something longer than 30 minutes, you should choose something like Sony A7 IV, Sony FX30, or something from the Lumix world like Lumix G9 II or Lumix S5x. These last two camera never overheats and have the more heat resistant. In this list we have some cameras with great autofocus, but now we should understand we are going to record something longer than 30 minutes at one time. If yes, we have this list with best autofocus cameras for long recordings and no overheating. It can be Sony A7 IV, it can be Sony FX30, or it can be Lumix G9 II. But if you don't want to record something longer than 30 minutes, you can pick something more budget. It can be Sony ZV-E10, entry-level camera, but great for vlogging, but it overheats. Basically, if you will shoot something less than 10 minutes or 20 minutes, this camera will be great for you. Also, you can choose Sony ZV-E10 Generation 2 or Sony A7 III. For now it's also budget, great budget 4K cameras, but probably it can overheat sometimes. Not probably, it's fact. Step 5. External SSD recording. Do you need it? If you shoot in ProRes, RAW, higher bitrate, or you want unlimited recording, SSD is a must. Best camera for direct SSD recording, it's Lumix S5 2X, because it's like best budget SSD recorder. You can just buy almost any SSD, just plug it in through the Type-C cable to your camera and you will be ready to go. Also, we have some different cameras that allows us to do this, but with little tricky moments. You should buy some external recorders. For example, it can be Blackmagic 6K, it can be Sony FX3, it can be Red Komodo, but all of these cameras have the much higher budget than Lumix S5 2X. If we have a little bit extended budget, then we should understand, do we need the external SSD recording? If no, we can choose some camera like Sony FX3, A7S III, Sony i7 IV, Canon R5 or Nikon Z8. All of this camera is great camera, it's full frame cameras, it's professional level, and any of this camera will handle all of your needs. But if you want to record something on SSD, it's great feature. Then we should answer another question: do you need a true cinema camera? If yes, you should pick something like Red Komodo or Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. But you should understand this is a high-end professional level cameras, and if you are a beginner, just don't try to pick something of these two, because this camera requires a lot of understanding of the process. A lot of settings should be predefined and all of this stuff. Even autofocus, you can just get autofocus out of the box. It's cinema camera. It's not a variant when you just want to take this camera, click one button and shoot great video. No, it's not about this. It's absolutely different scenario. If you need something to shoot like out of the box, you just grab your camera, pick some settings and click one button and get amazing results. You should pick something like hybrid modern camera. Yeah, in my list, number one best hybrid modern camera, it's Lumix S5 2X. This is absolutely amazing camera. This camera have full frame matrix, ProRes RAW, external direct SSD recording. It's absolutely beast and monster in today's camera world. And closest to this, but with some higher budget, is Sony FX3. Sony FX3 have all of the same feature like Lumix S5 2X, S5 2X, but this camera also have more lenses that we can afford, because Sony mount have bigger list of lenses. But about external SSD, you will have some problem, because Sony FX3 cannot record directly to the SSD. For this camera you should have some external recorder, and that's why I will recommend the Panasonic Lumix is S5 2X. Step 6. Should you consider an iPhone to create your vlogging career? Basically, yes. It's a must budget entry beginner level to the filmmaking. You can start with iPhone 13 Pro Max. This is like entry level to video creating. Or you can choose iPhone 14 Pro Max or 15 Pro Max. All of these three will be the great first device to like entry step to the filmmaking. I have my personal list of best budget cameras from each category. Basically, best budget camera of all time, it will be Lumix G80 or Lumix G85 or Lumix G7. These cameras are absolute beast at the budget segment. Now I am recording this video on the Lumix G80. Best autofocus camera, Sony A7 IV, Sony FX30 and Lumix G9 II, but also like from the budget segment. Best long recording camera, Sony FX30, Lumix S5 2X or Sony FX3. Best for the SSD recording. Absolute winner is Lumix S5 2X. Best smartphone for recording the video. iPhone 15 Pro Max. Which camera you are going to get? Please comment below, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.